Hi guys, welcome back to another second episode of Trive Talk. Today we actually have the full team here and the goats is here today. So we have Shaun D here as well today. So we're obviously the host of Trive Talks. Obviously the main focus of the podcast is to talk everything Forex, everything trading. So we've been focusing a lot on the regulation. So we're not going to go into the regulation today. We've also been focusing a lot on crypto. So I think today, once again, obviously having you today, finally, obviously a lot of things that you're obviously doing, running a lot of things for the business. So listen, today we have you here. So I think let's start with you today. I think let's just, obviously we have a lot of new traders that always comes in each of the industry. We have a new year, that new year, newbie thinking process. Yeah. So I think the key thing that I want to focus or start with today is, and that's actually YouTube video that I'm making, it's if you were a new trader today, like how would you get into it? Obviously, Shaun D also wants to get into trading a little bit. He's been playing around with it. But how would you break down for a trader like to get you into the industry?
God williams. Well, how do I do it? I mean, the trading industry lately is very complex, right? And I guess we came to the world whereby the simpler it is, the better.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just a straight talk about supply demand. If you understand price, it makes it easy. So this is how I normally say to people that try to get a trade. I normally use USD ZAR, right? I say if you understand the ZAR can't allow the USD to go above 20 Rand and the USD can't allow the ZAR to be against it for below 14 Rand. So we will always range between those prices. The higher it gets is 20 Rand, the lower it gets is 14. Once it gets to 14, we know the demand is high. Once it gets to 20, we know the supply is high. So it's just literally understanding price for me. I will literally just advise all of them, listen, read price. Once you understand price, it makes trading easier.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's always like the way, like we talked about this before as well. It's like when people start like a strategy, it's like you can't buy a strategy and become profitable.
True.
Like it needs to understand, I always call it like the foundation of trading, and like having that foundation, because I'm pretty sure you also, sometimes look at a chart, you can see where it's going to go up or down without, it's like you don't know why you know, but you know.
That's
the question on that point, right? So you used TSR as an example, right?
Yeah.
So new trader, what do you think is easy? Indices, Forex is
You think Forex
is the easiest one, man?
You know why?
Or easy?
Okay, let's just keep it like this. Forex is simple but not easy, right? And then indices, remember that you have one particular index, right? This maybe use US 30 since it's the current trending one. Not that it was trending back then, but now US 30 is the main thing, right? And remember that you need to moderate 30 big companies in order for it to make sense for you, right? And bear in mind, with Forex, it is easier to determine a certain behavior according to each season. Remember that the market is seasonal. But in US 30, the market can change 9 times in one day. We can have supplies and demands. We can have patterns. We can have what is this gaps. We can have all of this in just one day. Whereas in Forex, you can literally wait approximately 6 hours for it to create a correction before there's an impulse. So for me personally, Forex is easy. That's why I never even tried indices, because the simpler it is, the better.
So you're fully just Forex?
Strictly. I think it goes back to, so for example, so I've been breaking some 10 minutes. It's also been trading for a long time.
Yeah.
So when we started trading, there wasn't indices. Like it wasn't NASDAQ, it wasn't all these high leverage accounts, whatever. So I always explain it in the same way. It's like, it was so simple to understand the structure of Forex, and then NASDAQ became like a state. But the same thing, 106 companies that you need to monitor now. With, for example, if you're trading the dollar, you have NFP, CPI, like you have, let's say, 10 big events in a month. When now you have 100 tech companies that you need to monitor, because that's the fundamentals of NASDAQ in a certain way. So I feel Forex, once again, it's just more structured. So if you get into trading, like start with Forex, because you're going to be way more structured than it becomes with indexes.
Interesting.
I think indexes just became a thing because of the screenshots on Instagram.
Besides that, I mean, I feel like the whole concept of trading done before has changed now. Yeah. The main reason I'm saying that is that everybody doesn't understand the patience game needed when it comes to trading. Everybody is on some big buck. I always say this to people. I think I recently also said that to someone. I was like, Forex is the fastest way to make easy money. But to get the skill, it's a rabbit hole.
also without the skill, the fastest way
to lose money. You
Why
get
don't we
me?
just do it away? It's like, look, donate.
You get what I'm saying? So I said the same thing, and this person was like, "You're not making sense." I was like, if you can master the forex skill, which doesn't have any time frame how long you're gonna master it, you can easily make the money. But then the same way it could be easy, it also could be fast for you to use it. Because I remember when I was studying trading, I think I took about 8 months to crack the whole code of trade. But bear in mind, in this 8 months, it was now being fully confident with what I was doing. That doesn't mean I wasn't losing. Till this day, I'm still losing. But now I'm able to minimize my losses and maximize my profits.
Better risk management as well.
Yeah.
I think there's two key things that I took from that. So the more I'm going to ask you now, obviously, the first question is how, like, when I started trading, okay, so it was back in 2015.
Okay.
So the only courses available back then was the major key. We all know the major key. Very expensive, simple trade line strategy. When it breaks, you buy, when it breaks, you sell. So back then, I mean, it was actually simpler to learn because it was just, we're only focusing on one thing, it's easier. Then the second thing that I want to touch on, so we get back to that now, is what people need to understand is you're a really committed guy. Like, we talked about this.
Yeah.
About same people, like same person in different ways, like we straight shooters and we do things our way. But during that thing is like, if we know we need to work 7 hours a day, after 7 days a week, we'll do it. Like, so whatever it takes, we'll say, and do it. And I think that's the most important part. It's whatever you do, make sure to understand the time that goes into it, like, is crazy. It's not like you just fell on a strategy and you started making money.
Yeah.
Also, yes, it might take you 8 months, but it might take you 2 years. But it can take you 8 months if you are as committed as you as an individual.
You know, it can also take you up to 3 months.
Yeah.
Because normally what I say to people is literally that if you want to become successful, you got to have an obsessive disorder. Mm-hmm. I remember when I started trading, it was back in 2018, right? In 2018, bro, I think it was my final year at university. I never attended class. I only went on exams. I used to pay people to sign for me in class. I didn't came to class. I used to pay people for my assignments. This was mainly because I feel like if I want to get something right, I obsess over it. Like, I think I spent approximately 20 hours a day on trading. The rest of the 4 hours probably I'm doing something, eating, went out, seeing my girl or something. Then I'm done. The 20 hours were strictly on the chart. I was literally a charts on because the obsession was crazy. I think that's the reason why it might have taken 8 months. But to other people, it can also decrease. Why am I saying that? Remember lately, Forex people try to present it as this fancy thing. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? I like the key point you just said right now. When you said it was easier to learn Forex back then because it's just one being straight. Now we have the same thing, but named in different categories. You get me? Some people right now, back then we knew support and resistance. Now people turn into supply and demand. All of a sudden it's now the order block, this and that. Bro, what the heck? Like, it's so frustrating. So that is why all these people, when they cover trading, they get so frustrated because we have chart patterns, we have somebody who tells them about order blocks, we have somebody who tells them about the fair value gap, we have the SMC, ICT. That's literally the same thing. It's just named different.
Yeah, but that's literally the most important thing. I always mention it. It's like, when I asked to see ICT, SMC is market structure. That's what it is. Break of structure, COI, money, relax. It's so simple.
It just has a fancy name.
It's a fancy name.
Yeah.
And the same thing with major key back then. The reason they were selling it so good, you said, I'm selling trend line strategy for 10K in person. Then you type in trend line and find the strategy, you know what the major key is. Yeah. But now if you go to type in the major key, you just see this golden key and it's like, what is the strategy? Like, I need to pay there with this guy having a Porsche sitting with cash on the car, I need to buy it. Then now ICT came in and now it's like, what a block is this? And it's all these things. And it got to a point where it's so confusing. Like,
yeah, true.
It's so confusing.
True. And so tell me something. Let's talk about your market approach. When you approach the market, what is the most valuable thing for you as you sit down and about get to the chart?
Yeah. I think for me, so I always talk about this, the logical thinking. Okay, so for me, I always start with the logical thinking before I even analyze the chart. So let's say, for example, last week I was looking at USD. Okay, so already I know it's a pound pair, it's a USD pair. Okay, in the sense of pound, I'm already going to look at Euro GBPs. Euro, free floating pair, So wherever your GBP is going, GBP will do the opposite. That's like my correlation for the park base. So for example, I knew your GBP is going 500 monthly, so I knew I'm looking for pound subs. Then I know dollar index is Forex, but I didn't know that adds the confidence to the logical thinking of GBP USD circuit. So really the logical mindset is that I'm only looking for sales. And then the key thing for me is outside from structures. So then I know the outside from structures is pointing towards self-continuation. And then from there, let's find like the POI of where can I enter. So for me, I trade more in the sense of money management than all these other things that you find. So for example, I find a good entry point. I always have a little bit of a bigger stop loss, scale entries between my first entry and my stop loss. Allocate like 5% risk on each entry. Stop loss becomes bigger as you go up. Risk stays the same. So if it does trigger the entries and it drops down, I can maybe risk 5% to make like 60%.
So I just challenge 2 seconds, right? So you can use this as an advertising moment. You see, we have this thing called Trive Lab. You run what seminars, webinars every week. Yeah. All these things that he's talking about. So just tune into that thing. You'll learn a lot more from that perspective. But I also wanted to ask a question, right? And on this point, was obviously you have your market structure, which was very interesting, because obviously you're looking at different correlations of different market trading, right? So there's a lot of people obviously look at it in isolation, like, okay, Euro GBP or Euro USD is like, you can't look at these things in isolation. Obviously, you have to also look at the fundamental side of it. What was happening in the news? Obviously, got a mutual president in the United States now. What is Trump going to say tomorrow? How's it going to affect the dollar? Yes, this is happening in the market, but also the political, economical landscape of it obviously has a lot of impact. I mean, the most common obviously is economic aspect, AFP, CPI, those things, right? Cool. People look at it as, oh, it's a news day to trade, but there's a lot of research you have to, put in, turn it up, whatever direction you're going in. I was also going to think about it the other day. I was like, with NFP, for example, you can actually technically win on a buy or a sell. Now, so it's going to trace back at some point. So that,
You know what I normally say?
News create volatility, not direction.
exactly.
That's literally exactly what it is. I don't think, oh, are you selling? Are you buying? Maybe I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to wait for it to gap up. And then at that point, I'm going to take, when it starts retracing, that's when I'm going to take one position, because maybe at that point it's a little less volatile, because the market is coming back to what normal, as opposed to that little spike that you saw. But sorry, actually, I was having a question. Was that? I went on a rant. For new traders, way back to the original question on the start of this talk, right? Would you not suggest, but do you think that the person, you said 8-month journey, were you trading every day? Were you looking at one instrument? Like, what was that journey from a day-to-day perspective? Yes, you're watching charts for 20 hours, like you say, right? But here's a good watch chart, analyze how it works, and okay, 3 minutes. But what else are you doing? Are you placing trades? Are you playing on a debug? Like, what are you doing?
Sure. That's an interesting question, because 8 months, it was a journey to success, right?
Yeah.
But there was a month before the 8 months, okay, right? So I started trading in 2018, but I took it serious in February 2019.
Okay.
So obviously, when I started, it's all the logic of how everybody approaches it. First thing, signal. Second thing, you are attracted by lifestyle. You purchase your courses, left, right, and center, all that thing, right? Until I started shifting my mindset. I was like, okay, if this person wants to die, what am I going to do? Does that mean that I won't be trading anymore? No, I don't want that. So I started taking signals as education. And then I bought, mentorship from this guy called Neat Lesson. He was from London. He's there now. Was the oldest motherfucker, right? And then taking those lessons from him, the same thing you said, he just sticks to simple Forex. Back then, before I could say I evolved my trading skill, I used to be strictly a pure price action trader.
Okay.
Right? Until obviously somehow you kind of learn that, as I said, the market is seasonal. At some point, it doesn't really respect price action. At some point, it respects patterns. At some point, it doesn't really respect patterns. It respects smart money, right? So I kind of became a sentimental trader. I'm able to blend with the market behavior according to what it presents. So with back then, it was a whole thing that, okay, when I took a decision that I'm going to now work towards strictly being successful in trading my own self, this 8 months was broken, I think, into 3. The first 3 months, it was me strictly focusing on information. So I would watch YouTube, compare it to whatever that medium taught me, try to get someone who knows Forex even more. My brother was there, he was trading, but we didn't have time back then. And then I would try to get as much information as I can. And then I think the next 3 months, it was practice. So it was basically practice and applying. Whatever I learned, do I see it on the chart? It was the obsession behind it. So practice always there when I was on a demo account. I got to a point whereby it was easy to flip demo accounts consecutively. And I thought I was ready to start trading. The last 2 months, this is where I discovered trading is even beyond the skill. It's beyond just analyzing and all of that. Here, the most struggle I had was psychological. This 2 months was the hardest because as soon as you have your money there, the attachment becomes
very emotionally invested. The demo account is like, if I use it, but now your own money, put some skin in the game.
I remember the first month, I used to hack it this way. If I place a trade on a demo, I would place it on the red account. And then now the attachment, it's there. This time I'm losing it. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm even losing on a demo. And then I think on the last one, the bigger lesson I think I learned was, for me personally, I don't want to lie. You guys can argue at least what I'm about to say. Like, I feel like trading, when it comes to real trading, like trading real money, you somehow gotta be nonchalant.
Yeah.
Because you gotta be willing to lose and be okay.
That's exactly.
And still win and not be excited. Like, that's what I cracked. I was like, nah, even if I lose. I don't care.
But with you, it's just be really nice. That's what I told that. Remember when we were test driving the other call that guy was like, I want to start trading. And it's like, what do you need as a trader? I'm like, mentally you need to be strong. Emotionally you need to be
no emotionally. Don't put your
need to be there.
Don't put your emotional in. Like the key thing is you need to be a little bit crazy. Like every CEO Forex trader needs to have some screws loose somewhere to actually become Forex trader. The same reason for that is the emotions that you talk about. I think that's an interesting question for you as well. So this is always like a back and forth. There's other things a right or wrong answer, but the question always is like, if you and your trader, you start on a live demo account, like obviously after learning and understanding it, when you start, like, I like when you broke up because I have the same narrative in the sense of build the foundation phase, learning phase, implementing phase, adjusting phase, trading plan.
True.
So I think what you said is obviously with the learning implementing phase, do you think it's better to do it on a live environment or a demo environment?
Well, I have 50-50 reasoning that, right? You can quickly learn if you jump straight to real because you face the reality of it. But if you want to blend easy to it, you can start in the demo. Why am I saying that? A demo account, at the end of the day, remember, whatever that might be happening at that time can sometimes not be the current market conditions, actually, right? It's not the reality of how it is on the demo. But a demo can get you your mindset used to volatility, news, certain different pairs, how to calculate your risk. This is volatile, this is not. And then when it comes to a real account, everything is happening in real time, right? You could literally place a trade right now and you get hit by $100 spread. It's there. With the demo, everything is always here. You feel me? So it just depends how quickly somebody wants to learn. And then most of the time, I would say, I would advise people for this, especially when you're beginners. If you have money to play with, then just jump straight into a real account. You learn it.
I totally believe that you must just go real. I feel the same.
Yeah.
Because also from a real perspective, right, is that was a lot more products available and now there are all these high leverage accounts in, right? So at least with a high leverage account, you don't need to put in too much money, right? So just start small, have a feel for it. Because what I say in life, let's deal with the psychological team. You have to deal with it. How do I get affected when I'm lost? Because that can ruin your day. Like if you're emotionally attached to it, you thought I had my strategy perfect. I had my entries correct. My stop loss is correct. My take profit is correct. And everything just goes left. And then now your whole day is something else. You think this whole trading thing doesn't work, blah, 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 blah. So from an early stage it's almost like you're paying to educate yourself. That's how I look at it. Because once you put in your real cash, your own money into it, you're more invested in understanding it better and also understanding yourself as a trader better. But the thing is, with a demo account, for example, I can open a position now and then maybe from here go to a meeting. Yeah, totally forget about it. And then go look at the platform 3 days later. And so, I still have this position. It's making money. You don't really understand why it's making money. Yeah, you totally, shut down. Right? But a real live account, so you remember that I have positions on that. So this is what's happening.
Actually, you're right. So,
Going back to what we were talking about previously, where I say these guys that post on Instagram, 600K running, forgot about the trade. I'm like, and so we all know as traders, the only way you forget about a 600,000 Rand position running is if it's a demo account. There's nothing there but
ministers of test account. Those are the ones. I know one person who was once okay with losing, I think, 1 million. And it was like, nah, I'll try it next time, bro. Fucking you lie. You try it next time. When it comes to trading, we gotta be realistic about it. At the end of the day, people gotta notice that everybody knows what goes on, right? From the back end, from everything. We were cheated before, right? Now we know, and we taught the upcoming generation, right? Bro, no matter how moneyed you are, losing $5,000 is a wrap. It could literally ruin your entire week because you don't recover from a loss. Unless you've gotten to a point where by now, as I said, you gotta be nonchalant. You got to a point where you lose money, like, it's fine. I've made more than that before. I know it myself. I think about a month ago, I don't know what was in my head, bro. I don't really know what was in my head. I think my idea was I wanted to prove to people that I could literally make money out of one candle now to go on the trip tomorrow. Right? I funded 250,000, right? Rands. I won't mention the broker because now the broker is this one. After funding it, I think I placed gold. I think gold steps or gold. I'm not really sure. And then the market went in my direction, right? Bear in mind, now I'm like, okay, I'm writing about 160 something. Well, that's good. I can actually hold it. Now, let me just chill. I'm a swing trader. Bro, trust me, that was the worst decision. That was the worst decision. I came back the next morning.
Living gold, but I'm it's looking that's
gone. The entire amount perished. I'm like, oh my, I just literally lost. You want to know the truth? Till, I think, last week. Since that day till last week, I wasn't trading.
Yeah.
I had to recover from that. Because now you have wires. They're like, what were you doing? What were you doing? I haven't traded, I think it was around November or something like that. I only started being back to trading about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Just to try getting my mind back. But I wasn't on like
of that 2020, the market crash. We took a 6 months break because so I woke up. She was like 27th, 28th March. I woke up that morning when I saw minute, and then my YouTube channel, if you guys want to verify this, and then I held the trades for 2 months. So let's just get this out there. So we were up 106%. Okay, so the 12 million drawdown. People always say, no risk management, whatever. So number one, the count was bigger, way bigger. So it was only 7% drawdown, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, if there's a market crash, just like news, a stop loss will flicker yellow. Doesn't matter until the broker manipulating it. That's just how the market works. Mm-hmm. Obviously, pretty simple. Banks get liquidated, causes a gap in the market. That's number two. So stop loss was flickering yellow, took it out. Then we pulled back from 12 minutes, probably like 8 seconds to 3 minutes. Then I was like panicking. I'm like, okay, we're fine. It's not about the dollar value to the account size, but it was more the sense of like the psychology behind seeing 12 million rand in the negative. Then it went back to what you guys were going to take credit at higher points. We to like minus 14 more. Then it came back after 2 months of literally just staying there drinking CBD oil like it's coffee. And then it came back and then I closed out 3 minutes. After that, I then opened the chart for 6 months. Like I was mentally disappointed. From the highest point in my trading career to the lowest. The sense of dollar value, the sense of the fund that we were running, it wasn't a lot. But mentally, like, was broken. And that's when I realized, like, you can't play trading. And that's when I met Kevin. He was like, Kevin. So Kevin is also runs a billion rand hedge fund. So I think it's more than a billion, but it's a 9-figure hedge fund. So then I met him. So I mean, Kevin as well, I can't tell the whole story. So when I was showing him the account with the different broker as well, and then he told me, look, everyone's going to learn the statistical one again to the hedge fund space. You learn the rest of the billions, I learn the rest of the billions. And that's when I realized, like, everything is just the scale of learning trades. It's really important, especially when you enter trade, especially with your own capital. Don't just count in your stop loss, especially if you have all your money in one pool. Always count out, like, the worst case scenario that can possibly happen. If Donald Trump does something tomorrow, which we all know he can do, that guy last week. I don't have a problem with that last week. You know,
the funniest thing that happened yesterday, I was in a gold trade. I think I was earning about $5,000 on one of my profit accounts. Trump only said, TikTok is back in America.
Flapper.
Boom. No. Literally, bro. And if you look at it, gold was at the highest peak of selling, covered gaps, supply. You supplied, the demand was there to supply, right? Everything was just in position. I was running the position smoothly, bro. Trout just said, TikTok is back in America.
And then he did the YMCA and like, that's what, but
you're right.
One of the good some things. I think I was trading in public administration before you as well. I must say that time, the markets were stable. Like, we had a lot of weird things that popped out because every time we take stakes, we take all your money out of the But I must say that in the sense of trading, even if you look now at the market, like, it's ranging so well.
Do you think Trump kind of like brought back the market conditions?
I think because he understands the economy, he understands stock market, and like he really tries. If you look at the NASDAQ and everything back under his administration, it was really probably. So back then, even on the fund, we were trading NASDAQ, but for me, it was somehow, I was just buying. Like, once again, money management, buying into the top side and just wait for Trump to do his thing. And we had the Biden administration. I didn't trade that. I stopped trading NASDAQ. Biden was busy. Yeah, it's not like it was always sleepy. So for me, it's like with Trump, it's the two things of, yes, the market should be more stable, but also, I mean, now he has Elon Musk. I love Elon Musk. Once again, it's one of my heroes, but that guy's just as crazy. They both say some things that they don't need to say.
Because Elon Musk also kind of started the story out.
Yeah, so he's obviously backing Dogecoin now, which is really quite obviously that they created. So now they created a Trump brand. It's called Dogecoin. Yeah, so it's like DOGE. So they created this coin as a meme. Okay, so it's like all these coins that they started as a meme. And then he posted about it when they put things short up like through the roof, like 10,000%. So then obviously, in a way,
I also saw something yesterday. Somebody said Trump lost the coin. This coin.
Yes. Trive lost his own meme coin as well called Trump. And I'm like, well, to be honest, like, if you can get it at the bottom and ride it up, but remember, it's going to be a pump and down. But it's like, it's all these things is going to be pump and down. So the two of them in office, like, yeah, you just never know what they're going to say.
But then, you know, there's something that I really don't understand to me when it comes to just coins coming in. At the end of the day, I would just say, personally for me, I value Bitcoin. That's mainly because it's been right? But I don't think I've ever given myself enough time to understand the whole idea on crypto. Like, what does crypto do to the world? Like, for example, I know now that the Bitcoin has the highest value. One Bitcoin is approximately close to $1 million now.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. Back then, when you look at it, it was approximately 20 to 10 rand. Imagine if you had that. And then now you're probably $1 million, right? Look at people. But do you think crypto is all about investment and being able to grow? What moves crypto? Like, what makes it to continuously just elevate? Like, what took Bitcoin from 10 rand to now being approximately 800,000.
Well, I think it all comes down to basically they want to build like, way a banking system out cryptos. Basically you have your Bitcoin XRP and so XRP, I can see you money rent like on this podcast within like a few seconds. And the transaction fees are low. No one will know about the transaction, but being in blockchain. So it's a simple.
So it's something like that. It's more identical to banks. And
the problem is this. One problem like Bitcoin, I need these small coins. And that's why it's like when you look at exclusive cards. If there's only 3 cards made with this brand, then the value will keep going up. Doesn't matter if you frog the call, whatever it is. And it's the same concept. But for me, it's come down to same thing. I won't buy Bitcoin at a high price. Because at the end of the day, and it's a book that I read where it said, buy the rumor, sell the panic. So once people post good articles once again, then all you want to do is sell your coin. Because the billionaires takes it out to the high prices. They need to sell their coins. They need a million of our coins. They need to sell their coins getting at the bottom again. They push back for good articles through CNN, all these places. Then you see it as a retail investor. You buy the coins from them at the highest price. And they wait for it to go back down. They're going to shoot bad articles. Bitcoin's done. They buy back from you at the highest prices because then you panic the 60% down and they buy them. So it's going to be that way the whole time. But it's just the same thing. It's about investing in stable coins. I want to invest in new coins. Maybe I'll put like some ways to it or some money to it.
But how do you define? How do you find or validate to say that this is a stable coin? For example, this coin Trive. How do you think that is? Was it owned by Trive?
Yeah, that's for me. It's always about looking at the solution. Yeah, crypto. Like what are they trying to solve? Like for Ethereum, for example, Ethereum is used for multiple online platforms and I'm purchasing casinos, etc. So it's always about looking at the reason behind the crypto. It's the same as stocks, basically. It's like I had a friend with a guy called John who goes to Springbok Flat. So I instigated in 2016 as full-time trader. Now I stay into stocks and I'm following the same thing. The first thing before looking at the company is always about upside potential versus downside risk. The same as Forex. Then it's about doing the research, especially in 2025. Meta, for example. Meta is highly focused on AI. We know all the way AI is going, so it's going to be a good stock. But is it a good stock at the current price thing for you to get in, or the risk to the downside be too much? Same with Jeff Bezos. We know where SpaceX is in the sense of dollar value. So if you look at SpaceX being at the high value, Jeff Bezos is also starting his own SpaceX now, but not the company is called. So we know he's going to make it work. The richest guy in the world, so he's going to make it work. So that's a good investment if the dollar value is correct.
What if he dies and you think he's going to make it work?
Because it's there. Like a guy like Elon Musk. Elon Musk, I think he's at that point where he's so wealthy, he just does things. And I always look at him in that way, like, how do you get time to stop with all these things? Like, man, we're trying to balance all these things, family, business, all that.
You know what I've read about these successful people? I've learned that, there was once upon a time, I think about 2 years ago, I've met one of the billionaires in London, in the UK. This guy said, he gave me advice and said, billionaires invest in simple things. They don't invest in this hard thing, something that sounds complicated. They don't want it, right? And I asked him, what got you here? He said he was dealing with mortgage bonds. He was a salesperson for and then he gathered all the money to start his own because he was the highest selling person in that moment. And then he took all these clients to his company, and then now he's a billionaire. And then I asked him, what do you mean the most simplest things? He's like, if you can start a company, get people to do their job for you, it allows you to even be able to open many more. For example, Elon Musk, we wonder, he's so bored now that he does everything he wants, right? Why? Because let's make an example of one company, SpaceX. There's a manager, there's a CEO. Everybody's doing their job that he was supposed probably to be doing by himself. He only gets feedback.
Now,
during that time, all these people are doing this. What are you doing? You're figuring out what I can do more. That he just says shit. He said, it's like, the simpler I can get things done, that's how I expand my portfolio.
Yeah.
So I think it's more like the same thing.
I think that's it. Yeah. It is actually like that because I do believe, and we had a chat about this before, but And my people's brains are set up. Elon Musk's brain is set up to solve problems. And it's true. It's never like, once again, insane things. Like, yes, basic, the extreme bottom. All these millionaires, but they always focus on it. This is one thing that in South African millionaire where you say on a podcast, and he said on the podcast, like, take something that works, see how you can improve it, and then sell it to the public.
It's like, simplicity for me is like Jeff Bezos. Amazon was a book thing, like, that's literally just books. And he just took a simple concept and built it and built it and built it and built it. And look now with them now.
And you remember the story behind Amazon? Yeah, there was a point in time where their website was running and he just said, one time, the time will come where everything will be done online. He just literally said that for almost 15 years, bro, saying the same thing. And when everything started online, damn, we all went to Amazon. We literally all went to Amazon. But yet again, it's the same thing. For example, same as when we were planning the whole company thing. The loophole that was in South Africa, it was all about, if you look at all the brokers here in South Africa, they kind of have the same concept, behind running brokers. And then for me personally, it was basically an idea of bringing something that's the international feeling.
Yeah.
Do you get my point? Whereby you don't have to stress that who does what, because it is kind of disappointing that we have all these things running here, but yet people still choose to go outside, whereas we could just be keeping the money within our economy, right? So yeah, it's more like the same thing. That's why I want people to understand that they shouldn't look at Trive as one of the South African brokers. No, we just a branch in South Africa, because we're trying to bring you guys an international feel. If you look at it, even outside people right now see South Africa as one of those big countries right now. That is the taste we're trying to bring to you, or even more is about to come, because you guys are so brain damaged that you're used to how South African brokers operate and all of that. And personally, for me, that's one thing I've been trying to fix. Like, I don't want to I've been trying to mop out the dirt of what these people have done and all this, to a point that at some point I started talking bad about people that promote brokers. Yeah. I was like, you know what? If you look at it, I personally don't want to work with somebody. I mean, it's fine, but don't be out there and like find 500, find 250, and this is this is this. I believe in genuine planting. Like, I'm gonna give you the best. It's for you to test it out if you want it or not. I don't want to force you to do it, but rather I want to prove to you that doing it is the better. Yeah. So I feel like that's where the whole the whole industry can't differentiate between a salesperson and something that's business class, right? For me, business class is when you don't have to force me to do something, but prove to you that it is. Then I'm probably going to allow you to my seminar just because you did this. I'm probably going to allow you to my singles group because you did this. If you also notice something, the FSCA really fucked up a lot of people with this regulation shit. Oh my word. People don't even know what to say anymore right now. They can't send fund, they'll give you signals. Fund, they'll give you copy trading. They can't, because all these things need regulation now.
And that's why I keep saying we're going to see the biggest changes this year. We're going to see a lot of people running around having no idea what to do. Because if you didn't learn a skill in the time you were studying courses, then you're going to disappear, and more people are going to start not understanding what to do.
They disappear, bro.
It's crazy how many guys, especially back then. When I started trading back then, we had all these guys that did it with this G-Wagon, all of them gone. Now, that was like a shift, and then blew up again. And I think we're back to that now, where we're going to see some guys just popping off the radar. And then I always think, imagine you committed 10 years of your life towards a skill, simple thing, which you never learned.
Yeah.
Because you would make so much money from classes and signals that you actually never learned it. And now you can't sell classes and signals anymore. So I'm like, where do you go? Like, if I had to leave, if I get to Baltimore and do tomorrow, I will have, yes, I'm business-minded and I have other things, but in the sense of like, I can't see myself doing anything else than being in the Forex industry. Not just trading, but also being part of the whole Forex industry, different podcasts, talking about things. Like, I don't know what to do, and I don't know what I will do. Like, I can't even think not talking about Forex more than one day. So it's like, we're seeing Christian, that is not Okay, I'm done here.
I mean, that's truly a blessing personally for me to actually have like a team that's literally in that mindset, mainly because I think at some point when alone, I would have failed. You can't change or clean out the dirt that was made of 100 people and you're alone. Yeah. I always use an example of happy person and an angry person. If an angry person gets in a room full of happy people, one person could literally make all of us angry.
Yeah.
Right? But if a happy person comes in a room full of angry people, he's gonna be angry also. Right? So it's the same thing. But then if maybe 50 people are there, they could literally clean out the whole thing. So it's just the basis of the joyfulness of being part of people that's in that mindset way to understand the profession of the product we give to people has to be the best more than what all these, bro, I don't want to lie to you. It pisses the fuck out of me every time I think of how everybody in South Africa just ruins our trading industry. Yo, bro, it pisses the fuck out of me. I'm not sure. I even started calling them like influencers, like you are an influencer, but can you trade? Can you really trade? You get me? But it's all about promotions. Now it's all about this. We are not against promotion. I mean, extra feedback for you, it's good. But then don't base your life over it. Because at some point, they started setting themselves their weak points. You can see if these people were to tap out, you done. That is why right now, since the FSCA stepped in, everybody's quiet. Everybody's quiet. I've seen people running fake trades from being funded with like, let's say 500,000 and then not funded accounts, but like real money, broker funding, personal funding, like 500, running about 1 point something million and then being withdrawing whatever. And you meet a person, bro, one thing about money, in as much as you can try to hide it to a lie, it will never hide.
No, but that's one of the important things.
Yeah.
I'd say it's like, if you make 7 million rand a day, like it's an act, like you with that water Ferrari or that bubble time.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you make 7 million rand a day. If you make 7 million rand a day from trading, you will also not flex your number because you will not care a world what everyone's thinking.
Yeah.
You will not care what everyone's thinking if you make 7 million rand a day. That's what I say. Just like it's about being realistic. The
That's it, bro.
If you flex something and you made it that same amount yesterday, and people buying a coin just saying you made it back in 24 hours, like then I'll probably be at that point where I'll not even show people I have a coin. Because you'll be so wealthy making $1 million rand a day that you will probably be on an island somewhere living your best life in a yacht. You will not be on a social media.
This is part of the reasons why, if it was according to me, I think I'll be off social media right now.
Yeah.
But now the thing is, we still have a lot to go in terms of fix. And it's not literally, we're solving problems of what other people cost, like the dirt, the whole that I was talking about. For an example, people that know how it feels to have a real broker. Yeah. You feel me? Like when somebody speaks about Trive, they have to know they're talking something different. You get it? Yeah, like that's what we have. Also, with the prop firm industry, bro, I came with the whole prop firm industry in South Africa, right? Trust me, all these morons, they now all into prop firms and you've seen this prop firm this, prop firm that. You get into the prop firms, you find there are a lot of weaknesses. And then, so that's what I picked up, that with these people, a lot of things is about how do I make money out of people than actually being the reason people become successful in trading. Doesn't make sense. So it's even all these markups behind brokers, the offers, you find that the spread is this huge. I mean, we do understand everything that happens, but there's somehow you're like, ridiculous right now.
Yeah, it's the same thing with if you bought masters for Ivermeal. It's like, yo, $20 rebates. I'm like, buddy, like, I can't give that to you. Yes, you're hanging from Broker X, but you really want to screw your clients like that. That means they have $40 spread. Like, rather take less an amount that you don't need to add markup. Like, we don't add markup. So for us, it's like, if you don't want to take the bill, then take zeros today. We don't just care about IBIS, we care about the clients as well. So yes, most probably you can get $20 a lot, but at the end of the day, that means your clients are not going to be able to trade, not going to enjoy the experience. They're going to enjoy it, not going to make money as IB. So for me, it's always about keeping it simple, respecting the client, respecting the partner, and respecting the journey that the client is in as well. If your client signs up with us, he gets called immediately, So I don't think I'll fund now, just I say, are you, and I help you with your KYC, and I help you with anything. If not, just my email is for WhatsApp. So I think it's just that's what we need to get back now, because we have a lot of brokers there with no support, and that's when it should come back to. Doesn't mean because you're coming through an IB league that you don't need support. You need support whether you're coming through an IB or the true line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one, guys. I think that was a good one. I think it's well, I must say thank you to you. Because we were like in the working mindset and approaching and you just obviously it might be about I think the also so bring the ice nicely. Yeah, and then you can't come in this team every day, and but the days that you then we really appreciate the energy that you bring to the table, man. Right, thanks guys. Thanks. Cheers guys. See you in the next week, guys.